Now, the Philippine government, in the person of Menardo Guevara, the Solicitor General, who was formerly the Justice Secretary of Duterte, and even more importantly, the current Justice Secretary, Remulla, have essentially confirmed that the Philippines will not stand in the way of ICC if it issues warrants of arrest or anything along those lines in tandem with Interpol. So effective ang sinasabi nila dito is, pag issue kayo ng warrant of arrest at pumasok ang Interpol, wala kami magagawa, we have to abide by, and this is a very important thing that Remulla mentioned, we have to abide by our international obligations. All right? So tanggap ng Philippine government na they cannot not cooperate, because not cooperating will have massive repercussions. It will make the Philippines look like a banana republic. It will also be politically ridiculous, because that means Marcos is going to take punches for the Dutertes, the very people who are throwing all of these punches at him, to put it mildly. But more importantly, there's a lot also at stake for the Philippines. So this is not only about reputation of Marcos or Marcos' pretension to be a reformer or making the Philippines a much more, I don't know, a nation of rule of law. Although mahalaga na we look like a country of rule of law, because that's also important, not only for human rights, but also for investors. Kasi mga investors ay hindi pupunta dito kung akala nila banana republic tayo. All right, that's why during 6 years of Duterte, despite all of these, megalomania comments and policies, there was not a single major big ticket infrastructure investment by China, kasi ang gulong kausap ng Pilipinas, and there was no major manufacturing investment in the Philippines. All right, tell me, what are the big EV or automaking or, I don't know, semiconductor businesses that came in during Duterte? Even if some came in, it was because the Philippines was just too attractive for them to ignore. But nevertheless, we missed so much opportunities because we are not a country of predictability and rule of law. So there's also an economic dimension to this, in addition to even the more fundamental human rights. But the other aspect also here is West Philippine Sea. So I was at The Hague a few weeks earlier, and if you look at The Hague, that's where the troika of ICJ, International Court of Justice, ICC, International Criminal Court, and the PCA, Permanent Court of Arbitration, all of them are there. In addition to a number of other courts na relevant sa international law. This troika and all of these bodies are manifestation of a single thing. So yes, on surface, ICC is completely different from the issue of West Philippine Sea, because one is about human rights, West Philippine Sea is about sovereign rights. But the ICC is part of a body of institutions that are manifestation of international law. And the Philippines cannot talk about itself as a rules-based, law-abiding country. We cannot ask for help from international community when it comes to West Philippine Sea if we selectively approach international law and say, oh, pagdating dito, we are law-abiding, we want a rules-based order, kailangan namin ng tulong nyo. And then pagdating bigla dito sa ICC para protektahan ng mga Duterte and all, biglang, oh, no. Hindi pwede yan. Hindi pwede yan. And I know as a fact, when Marcos went to Europe, he went to Berlin, he went to Germany, he met Chancellor Scholz, whom I also met earlier this year. They made it clear to the Philippines, they want us to support international law, to abide by international law. And if ICC pushes aside with warrants of arrest, then so be it. You have to cooperate. You cannot be selective about it. If you want to be seen as a democratic nation, a rules-based nation that also wants international law as a basis to protect its rights to West Philippine Sea. And it's quite important. So you have Sara already panicking over her security details, going down from, I don't know, battalion to militia. I don't know, still 2-3 times bigger than Lenny, depending on who you're going to believe. But still big enough. Bongo, his security detail has also been diminished. And then now you have Bato de la Rosa, was at the very front line of this catastrophic war on drugs. Essentially now in the negotiation phase, saying that he's open to be interviewed by the ICC. But that doesn't mean he's going to accept their jurisdiction. That doesn't mean he's going to give up. So he's already in this negotiation phase whereby he's accepting the direction of the wind. Now, eto na talaga, it's a matter of time before ICC comes in, even if he's a senator. Who knows if he can still win again for next year. He's going to face the music. But he wants to face the music at the right note, right? So that means he's also already in the negotiation phase. Psychologically, I don't think he can do that in reality, which tells you things are really moving very fast. Ang tanong lang ngayon is whether the ICC warrants of arrest will come before elections, during elections or after elections, because depending on the time of the warrant of arrest, which, by the way, I think the warrants of arrest are going to be also issued with certain political consideration, including the upcoming elections, the implications will be different. Because if it comes close to or during elections, it can go both ways. On one hand, it could make the Dutertes look extremely weak and vulnerable, that it will be a sinking ship and everyone will try to get out of it. Or if the Dutertes play their card well, they can make themselves look like victims and actually make that as a rallying cry for themselves in order to, at the very least, consolidate their position in Davao. Kasi medyo delikado na sila sa Davao. Natatanggalan sila ng confidential fund, their access to resources is not there, pork barrel, whatever. And, their muscle, their squads, and all of those things, they no longer control like before. But this could actually make them look like victim. And then baka that will be their rallying cry. And who knows, maybe even nationally if multiple deterrents run. But we cannot say for sure. We cannot say for sure. It can go both ways. It also depends on how the government works it and effectuates it and how is it operationalized. Whether the arrests are going to be conducted smoothly or with drama. Is there going to be a Mexican standoff in Davao? What's going to happen? Is Bato going to do his own interview and say, sorry, mauna na lang ako para wala ng gulo? Let's see. A lot can happen here. But the direction of the wind is clear. After all, maybe it's true when they say the arc of history bends towards justice, or at least a form of it.